everyone, my name is Kevin Giesland. I am not a financial or tax expert. I just love real estate and investment properties and just try to pass on as much information as I can. Something that's been a huge topic for me the last 2 or 3 years is bang for the buck. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of preface this by I'm extremely biased towards real estate, obviously. So take that for what it's worth, make your own opinions, run your own numbers, and figure out what works for you. Now, as far as bang for your buck goes, I've got a couple videos over leverage. I'm going to try to take that aside for a second, not talk about leverage, and just talk about just pure numbers. What are we looking at, okay? So for myself, a couple of years ago, when interest rates were extremely low, what we were doing is we were out of pocket about $55,000 on every home that we purchased. Now with this out of pocket, I mean down payment, closing costs, and repairs. So out of pocket about $55,000. I want to make this super clear. I never once cared what the interest rate was. I never once cared what the sales price was. The way I look at numbers, in my personal opinion, numbers don't lie. So if I could be out of pocket $55,000 and still cash flow at least $750 a month, I didn't care about anything else. So many times I've heard of folks getting tied up on the sales price or the interest rate, which I agree, those are very important pieces to the puzzle, but that's exactly what they are, just pieces or fractions of the full picture. If I bought a home with 0 repairs, but it cost a little bit more, and it was $55,000, that's okay, versus buying a home that was a little bit less, but I had to be out of pocket extra for repairs. Either way, whether I'm putting in a lot of repairs on a cheaper home or a few repairs on a more expensive home, as long as I'm out of pocket $55,000 and getting $750 a month cash flow per house, I don't care. Now, markets change, obviously, so now I have to decide what amount am I good with being at. If I took the same $55,000 from 2 or 3 years ago and I was out of pocket that now, what amount would I be comfortable getting a month? And to be quite frank, I'm a pretty open book here. I don't plan on purchasing anytime soon. I kind of went crazy the last 2 years in purchasing, so I'm just going to juice up my savings account, my business account, everything like that, just to make sure that I'm covered. Heaven forbid issues come up. But if I were to purchase, at the moment, for me personally, this is not saying you, if I was purchasing right now and I was going to be out of pocket $55,000, I would still be okay with $500 a month. Now this plays into different things. Where else could I put, if I just have $55,000 laying around? I would rather put that in a property that's going to make me $500 a month than put that somewhere where it's possibly going down or sitting in your bank account. The thing that really changed my mind on bang for your buck and really focusing on what it can do for you, I've got an individual that I talked to for about 3 years in a row about rentals. And this individual never would do it. Every single Christmas I'd see them and say, hey, you got to do this. No, absolutely not. This individual called me super upset one day. I said, what's going on? You know what? I've got $200,000 in my bank account and I just made $65 this year in interest. $200,000. That takes a whole lifetime to save up. For most Americans, $200,000, that's a crazy number, and only getting $65, he's getting 0 bang for his buck. In fact, with inflation, he's probably actually losing money. So because of that, he said, you know what? I'd rather just purchase rentals. At that time, he didn't really care about $750, $500, whatever. I'd rather get $200, $300, $400 a month and risk the money. You know, if everything goes bad and I have to sell it and I lose $5,000, I would rather lose $5,000 trying than have $200,000 sitting in the bank not doing anything. So this individual was getting 0 bang for his buck. Now he was getting something, sold those properties. He kind of went with my model for that. So he's getting that amount or more. So as time went on, the percentage of bang for your buck will change. That's part of it. That's perfectly fine. So, bang for your buck there. I'm going to throw one out here. What about repairs? I have all the time that folks ask me, hey Kevin, don't you think I should put granite countertops? Or, you know what, this house would look so much better if I just did X, Y, Z. You have to keep reminding folks, this is not your primary residence. You're not going to be raising your children, your grandkids are going to come up. They're not going to be doing that in this property. You need to find out if you're doing repairs. Now, make the home nice for the tenant. I'm not saying that. Everything should be working fine. Everything should look fine. But as far as upgrades go, will it get you more in rent, or will it rent quicker, therefore alleviating headaches, and that's more time that you can be putting towards something else? So if either one of those are yes, great, you can do that. So just to give you an example, paint. I love painting. I can't do anything with my hands. If I screw in a light bulb, I'm bragging to folks about it. You know what I mean? So painting is the one thing I can do, because you can mess it up and you can fix it. If you take your own time in the evenings and whenever that you're not doing anything anyway and paint, I mean, I can paint a house for about $800 in paint. Is usually around what it takes. So an extra $800 in paint, you make that house look extremely different. Now it looks really good. All the colors flow fine. Individuals want it. Individuals might be paying an extra $100 or $200 a month because the house just looks cleaner. It looks nicer. That's something I see the bang for the buck. I can be out of pocket 2 weekends of myself that I'd be watching Friends or doing something like that anyway, plus $800 to get more each month. Absolutely, I'm on board with that. Something else I wanted to look at here. Now, this isn't necessarily for investment properties. This could be for primary residences. People ask me quite a bit as far as down payment goes. How much should I put down, Kevin? I think I should put an extra 5% down to lower that loan amount, therefore lowering my monthly payment. I'm all for that. First off, you should be able to sleep at night. If your debt, whether it be for rental or primary residence, is higher and it's higher than what you budget for, and it's going to keep you up at night worrying about it, I'm never for that. However, many different times I've talked to individuals, and putting down an extra $5,000 may only save them about $30 a month. Most of the time that I've looked at loans, rates, everything like that personally, in this market, 2023, January, you're looking at roughly $6 per thousand. Now, depending on that rate, that could be 5, could be 8, something like that. So bottom line, would I rather have $5,000 now or $40 a month extra that I don't have to pay? So I've had some folks say, hey Kevin, I'm about to buy my first house. Everywhere said you should put down 20%, so you bypass that mortgage insurance. Real quick, personal opinion here. Mortgage insurance is insurance on yourself that you won't foreclose. So honestly, I think it's a waste of money, even though it is required. Having said that though, I've had 1 or 2 of these individuals I stopped and said, hey, have you ever thought about owning a rental property? They said, no, why? And I said, you know what, look at it this way. If you put down 20%, it's a lower loan, and you bypass mortgage insurance. So you're saving money and saving money, that's great. Let's just say you save $350 a month. But usually individuals' primary residence are more expensive than investment properties. What if you put down 5% on your primary, and that additional 15% on your primary that you didn't put down, you use that as down payment and closing on a lower priced investment property. So primary residence, your payments, let's just call it $350 more, but now you just bought an investment property that could cash flow you $300-400 a month. Okay, well you're the same amount out of pocket, but this cash flow over here is offsetting your higher payment. So it's basically zeroing out. Now again, you will have repairs, you will have vacancies, you will have expenses over here. So that's something to take into account. But you'll have 2 properties appreciating, you have a tax benefit. So all that to say, should you put down a ton of money, or would it make sense to put down less and use the extra money somewhere else? Just different ways to look at this here. Bang for the buck is, I've just seen so many instances that someone puts so much down, or they tie up so much money into a property, and then that property doesn't give back the way that they were hoping, and they wish they had the money back. And unless I'm mistaken here, the only way to get your money back is refining it in one way, shape, or form. You're gonna have more closing costs and a different, more than likely different interest rate, or selling the property. And I'm not a big proponent for selling real estate. History shows it goes up, it keeps going up. Everyone needs a safe place to stay. So, few things to think about here. As a reminder, these are my numbers. Doesn't have anything to do with you. Think about, for you personally, if you're out of pocket blank amount, how much would you expect that return to be? Just cash flow here, just cash flow. Equity, appreciation, possibilities, whatever, that's a different story. So that wouldn't really align with this. But hope this helps out. Hope it's something for you to think about and kind of jog your brain with and just see kind of where you stand. Love to help answer any questions that you might have. If you would subscribe here, y'all take care. Thanks a lot.